Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Suddenly a strong wind came here, so I had to change position, hoping that the wind is not now blowing in my microphone all the time and making noise. Let's see how it's developing. Maybe after that I have to change again. Last time, at the beginning, I had my little speech about how people are being manipulated into fear by all the official news propaganda, and encouraged everybody to connect with pure light, not to get into that fear. After that, an old friend wrote me, hey, you accuse the others to manipulate people, but after that, you and your enthusiasm about pure light, you're also manipulating them. But then I replied to him, well, they and their manipulation, they really try to push people into fear. And where there is fear, there is no clear thinking. It makes the mind small, and despair is coming, and dependence. And what I'm trying to do is to encourage people to become aware of their own potential and become expansive. In that way, you get free, you become free. No matter what is happening outside, if you are aware of your potential, if you are aware that essentially you are pure light, if you are aware that you are connected with everything, then you are free and independent. And so I wrote to my friend, well, I would find another word for what I'm doing. They are manipulating, but what I'm doing is not manipulation, it's inspiration. And if I can inspire people to become stronger, to become more self-reliant, I'm very happy about it. It's not manipulation. If we point out to people, look at yourself and see how strong you are. Look at yourself and become aware that there is something in you that is not affected, no matter what is happening. Be strong, my friends. Be self-reliant, independent. Whatever you are doing, however you are choosing to deal with the present strange situation, be strong in yourself without a need of justifying it to everybody else, but just be at peace with yourself because you feel that you're doing that which feels right for yourself. Whether others think the same thing or not, it doesn't matter. This world is for that we are meeting difficult situations and learn not to be affected by it. That way, we are harnessing something extremely precious, extremely beautiful. Essentially, nothing changes, and yet the power, the love, the wisdom can expand all the time. And this situation is a continuous challenge. Either we are getting worried, either we are getting drawn into fear, or we start every day again with that warrior spirit, the peaceful warrior. With that spirit of, okay, may come what wants, something in me is absolutely not affected. The more you are connecting with that, the more you can benefit from all the difficulties that are happening. Instead of complaining, instead of despairing, instead of lamenting, instead of just getting sucked in that downward spiral, we can make use of this crazy situation to really grow, to really outgrow dependency, become more and more self-reliant, self-confident, and shine with that inner light. Like this, the life is full of joy, and actually, incidentally, that's the best we can do for everybody else. It's like it's time for a revolution, but not a revolution in the old style, where there is the resistance, and then finally there is a big battle, a big battle. With a lot of violence, and finally not much changes. This revolution is, it's time. It's time for humanity that we make a step, that we open the heart instead of competing all the time, learning to work together, instead of being interested always in our petty little personal advantages. Think of the common good, feel connected with all there is. Like that, we can make a quantum leap. In the old style of revolution, the idea was go and kill them all. And now Sudha and I, we have found a very nice phrase that we are often repeating again. Sudha often listens to what's going on. People send her videos, underground videos, telling from another perspective what's going on. And then, instead of starting to worry, we tell each other, pure light them all. That's the way we should go about it this time. Pure light them all. It's a nice sentence. Often we tell that something comes up, something that is happening that looks again so, oh my God, how can it be so that people are doing this to each other? Anyhow, pure light them all. That's what we can do. All right, I'll stop with that for now. Then I will answer a question from Gregory, who lives in Washington State. He asks about self-inquiry. He has read, well, you just ask the question, who am I? Or then he has read, you should go find the source of thoughts. And he wonders, what's this all about? How to go about it? And actually, the funny thing is, there's not really one way to go about it. It was funny to see when I came here first 40 years ago. There were like different sections of Ramana followers discussing, competing with each other, what is the right way to do self-inquiry. And one said, no, no, you have to do it like this. That's what Bhagavan said. That's what Bhagavan meant. And the other said, no, 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 this is the good way. And actually, it doesn't matter at all. What matters is that if we are doing self-inquiry, that through that inquiry, we're catching our attention and bring it back to the source, to that conscious sense of presence now. And stay with that, abide in that, relax in that. We can use the question. I'm just telling now one way to go about it. It has been very useful for me on my way. Sitting, trying to be quiet, asking the question, who am I? And then there may be plenty of thoughts, asking the question, but who is thinking? I. Who am I? Not expecting to find an answer to that question. It's not an intellectual question that finally an answer pops up and then we understand. There is nothing to understand. You are that. You are what we are looking for. You are the essence. You are the source of it all. You are what we are searching. Just find a way to bring the attention back home. Who is thinking? I. Who am I? I. And then it becomes more than self-inquiry, self-attention. Just stay with that sense of presence that you are touching when you say I am, I am. One can even use the door a few times. I am, I am, I am. But more shifting the attention to that most familiar sense of presence. You could say that feeling, but it's not a feeling like the other feeling. But that feeling of being conscious, that feeling of being alive, that awareness of being here now, alive. And just stay with that. When it's relatively quiet, one can still maybe sometime ask the question, but who is experiencing the quiet? Just to keep the alertness that we are not starting to somehow drift away in that relative peacefulness. Now, everybody has to find their own way, what functions best. The purpose of self-inquiry, of asking the question, is not to eventually get an answer. The purpose of self-inquiry is to catch the attention where it is locked, where it is drifting around, and bring it back to the source. To that simple sense of present. And stay with that and relax it. And wait and see what happens, how the experience evolves in that, how the experience expands in that. And that happens very unique and beautiful for everybody different. Now he also asks, but they say, look for the source of thoughts. And that can lead a bit to a misunderstanding that we should find a place, as if there is a place where the thoughts are coming from. The source of thoughts is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness doesn't have a particular place. Now, many times those who have been listening to me more may have heard me tell it's very useful to find a point in the body where we are most naturally centered. It's not that in this point consciousness is more, it's not that this point is the source of thought, it's not that somehow the self is more at this point, it's simply a reference point for the mind. It makes it easier to connect with that timelessness of the present if we have a point in the body where we center. We include the physical level instead of excluding it. Physically center and relax. And that very simple relaxing in that centeredness will bring us beyond it. So when you are looking for the source of thoughts, you can also center and not look for another place or space where the thoughts are coming from. The place where it's pure consciousness. In that pure consciousness, then a cloud is forming which includes the potential, the possibility of a whole story that may come out of it, of a whole field of thoughts and feelings one can create out of it. But first, it's like out of the pure consciousness that forms that cloud that is full of potential of many thoughts. And then out of that cloud, the thoughts are crystallizing. It's not that we have to somehow find a place where it's coming from. Just be with that silent, pure consciousness as good as you can, and you are already at the source. And you can use the help of centering physically. If we do that again and again and again, it becomes like a gateway. It's simply a reference point for the mind that becomes gradually, the more we use it, more powerful, a help to, no matter what is happening, whether we are inactive or active, just if we center and relax, we are right here. And here, now, there is no time. It's timeless. Here, now, is pure consciousness. Here, now, is pure love. Here, now, is pure life. And out of that ground, the thoughts are coming. They are not somewhere within the physical realm, but since our attention is very attached on the physical realm, we can use the help of a physical center to focus. And from that physical centeredness, all that is needed to go beyond that is relaxing. It's not really that difficult. The difficulty that people experience is that the old habits, the old vasanas will pull their mind away again and again. And there is no other way of just becoming aware of that and then come back home again and again and relaxing. Gradually, it will get a bit easier. And then there may be periods where it's very simple, where it's just happening spontaneously without an effort all by itself. And then there may be period again where it's more agitated, seems to be more difficult. Like when we are silent, when we are relatively quiet, the attention goes deeper, and then sometimes we are opening up stuff that is still locked in the subconscious. It has to come up to the surface and may create agitation. But if we then don't get discouraged and simply go about it again sincerely, that also will pass. And the moment may come where everything that appeared to be so difficult becomes simple and easy and natural, effortless. All right, I hope your question is answered. Now, I'm asking you, all my friends that are here listening, is there anybody who would like to come in and talk about something? Please come. I don't know whether you hear that. There is thunder in the background. Let's see whether it's coming here. The wind has changed again. I don't know whether it's making all the time noise. I'll try to shift some more. Okay. Hope it's still okay with the light. Okay, is there anybody who would like to come in? Please come. There are 34 people here. Is there nobody who wants to talk? Thanks. Dara just told me the sound is good. The wind is not whistling in the microphone.
Werner, I have just a question.
Hello, Moksha.
Hello, hi man. Nice to see you on this beautiful day. I have a question. Only if it's okay for you. You sometimes showed Arunachala.
Yeah.
Can you somewhere, if it's possible, show us Arunachala in the Satsang?
Yes, I think that should be possible. It's now more and more from the level of the roof that there are trees in the way.
Nice, nice.
And it's a little bit the story with the computer to go here and there. But I mean, I can do that. since nobody wants to ask a question.
We only want to see Arunachala in you.
Okay, then which one is the camera? This is the mouse. I don't have to carry drag the mouse with me, you know. But be careful that I'm not undoing the camera.
All right. Oh. Ah, there it is.
Can you see
Oh,
Arunachala?
yes. Oh, yes.
Now.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala
Ah.
Shiva.
Oh, thank you, Arunachala. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Become like Arunachala.
Yes.
No matter how crazy people are, no matter what noise they make, no matter how much pollution, he simply sits here unmovable, radiating his beauty.
Now,
Yes, hello Cyril.
so the next question is, how did you hear about Arunachala? How did you come? Why did you come there? Since you went to India, how did you feel with Arunachala? You heard the name of Arunachala.
I'm going again to the place where I was because I think it must be winding into the microphone very strongly.
It isn't. It isn't.
It isn't.
No,
Okay.
nothing.
Where are we now? Anyhow,
Oh.
I'm going back. Now you have to now you have to look again at this same fellow like usual.
Yes. Also very beautiful. Thank you very much, Werner.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then I will answer to Cyril.
Yes.
Just have to put everything together again. Okay, how did I come to Arunachala? Well,
How did you get the name? For the first time you hear that name, Arunachala.
when I was still a teenager in Switzerland, and then I started to get interested and just grabbed any book that get in my hands. And then I started to read about Ramana Maharshi, and then you cannot get around Arunachala. And then 1980, I came to India thinking that I'm going to stay for 3 years in a ashram in Bombay, in Chinmaya Mission. But then already when I came, I thought before I go back, at least I'm going to visit Arunachala. At least I'm going to visit Tiruvannamalai. Well, I ended up staying only 1 year in Bombay, and 41 years later, I'm still here.
But why didn't you stay with Amma, for example?
Well, somehow at a certain time, it was time to go my own way. That doesn't mean that there is any bad feeling about Amma. I'm infinitely grateful for her help that she has given me. She has helped me to come to that point that I was capable of going my way by myself. Without the assistance of Amma, I wouldn't be sitting here now and talking. But it felt also really the right thing to do for me. I'm not saying that as a general solution, but for me, it was the right thing then to go my own way.
What about the first meeting with Arunachala? What did you experience? What was your feeling about the first meeting?
It was quite overwhelming. Actually, it was then when I was in the beginning with Amma, and she, from the beginning, she said, well, you can sit, you want to sit, so sit. Don't do anything else. And soon I asked her, can I not go somewhere where I'm a bit more alone and peaceful? And she said, wait, wait, wait. And then after a few months, she said, okay, you can go to Arunachala.
She told you?
Yeah, there was also a house here from Nilu, Paramatma Nanda Swami, who has been staying here before. So I could go and live in that house. And she said, and then for 4 years, I came here, would stay here alone. And whenever she called me back, I would go back. And then whenever she let me go, I would come here. And the first time, I came with another of her brahmacharis, who had been here also quite some time. And when we approached with the train, suddenly he said, now look there, you can see. And it was overwhelming, just reaching here. It was overwhelming. Of course, I had also already been conditioned that is something special.
Yes, yes.
I had read about it and heard about people talking about it, and then coming here, it was an overwhelming experience. And somehow it's not an easy place. It's pushing your buttons. But when I was struggling myself with my mind, I always felt there is a lot of support. And now it has pulled me back here. I don't feel I need to be here, but so far I didn't see any reason why I should go somewhere else. And still I feel it's a special, it's a wonderful place.
Yes. Indeed.
Indeed. As you know.
Yes. Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, there is a saying we would say, what is here is everywhere. What is here is everywhere. What is not here is nowhere.
Right.
You should feel Arunachala is everywhere.
Right.
There is no, if it's not here, it's not there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. I feel when you are near Arunachala, this energy, this amazing energy. I mean, and what also when you go in, when you go in meditation in Ramana Ashram where Ramana used to live, it's amazing. Did you do pradikshina at that time?
Very rarely. I was just sitting. Every morning I went up to Virupaksha cave and sat 6-7 hours there in the cave. And then I would go to the house and would sit more there, and we go very rarely around the mountain.
6-7 hours.
Well, at that time I was not doing much else but sitting on my bum.
Okay, Werner, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Dora has been writing again something. Okay. Sorry, all that stuff. I hope you can see if the lightning is maybe not so fantastic now because I have more light in the back of myself. But it's better because of the wind. Otherwise, it's always making hot, 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 hot noise. Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to come in? Maybe rather talk about your story than my story.
Hi, Werner.
Hello, Helen.
Hi. Yeah, just about Arunachala and yearning for, it's like yearning for the beloved.
Yeah.
I have some time now. Again, I'm house sitting, and what comes up for me is yearning for the beloved. You know, yearning for completion, wholeness.
Yes, right.
You know, and that really touched me. Seeing Arunachala, because out of the blue, I had a yearning to go to Arunachala. Totally logically, I'd been there many years ago and nothing. I had felt nothing, and then suddenly I'm crying for Arunachala, and I have to go there, even though I knew nobody. For me, it wasn't special, but it was something that pushed me to go to Arunachala. My soulmate passed away. We were together 20 years, and it's the thing with soulmate passing was it was like an understanding that he had to pass so that instead of feeling complete with each other, that completion would happen within.
Yes.
And I don't know what I'm asking really, except I feel a kind of a yearning and a pain.
Right.
And I'm just asking really what that pain is. It's the pain of separation, I guess. I mean, could you talk about the pain of separation?
Right. Actually, the separation is an illusion, but still it creates pain. As long as that feeling is there of separation, then there is that longing for completion. And Cyril said, well, one should feel everywhere the same. And of course, what is essentially here, Arunachala, is everywhere. Now within manifestation, no doubt, that same essence is also manifesting energetically differently. And this is a power place that helps us to connect with our own inner Arunachala, with our immovable aspect. And so it can happen that when you have been here and you felt more of that, that after that, when you are away, your longing is to come back to the place, Arunachala, but actually it's the longing for your true nature.
Yeah.
It's the longing for being at peace, at ease, naturally, complete. Everybody deep down knows that should be natural. That's what I am. It should be natural. So somehow, as long as that is not the experience, there is always that longing. As long as people are not conscious, then that longing is being directed no matter onto what, and people run and do this and do that and hope to get that fulfillment by doing all kinds of crazy things and accumulating wealth and getting kicks here and there, and it never works because that completion is our true nature, and we have to bring the attention back to that. Now, sometimes it can be very helpful if you have a symbol in this world where you feel that more easily. Like when you have spent, now you said you came many years ago, but then last year you were here again.
Oh yes, I came, I was in 1990. I was in Lucknow with Papaji, and everyone was talking about Arunachala. And then I came, and I just didn't, I'd been an Osho sannyasin, so I don't know, I didn't feel any attachment to Ramana Maharshi or Arunachala, and after a day or two I left.
Yeah.
But, 4 years ago, when my soulmate passed, it was very strong because I felt like as he was passing, I was going with him. It was like I felt it was a huge experience of dissolving. It happened, and what happened out of it was suddenly a yearning for Arunachala.
Yeah.
So I just had to come. So for years I came to Arunachala, and it was true. It was really powerful. It was really, I felt that was my place. I've been to Arunachala, and the thing is like I know what it is I've had glimpses of being complete.
Yeah.
Where I know that is within myself, and it's just that in the current climate, it's without the help of Arunachala, it's really difficult to connect with that essence, like
right.
Yeah.
But then that very yearning to connect with Arunachala makes you connect. So we can yearn in different ways. We can yearn and then get more and more upset for not being at the place we are yearning for, or not experiencing what we are yearning for, or we can just use that yearning to connect. And the yearning in itself is fulfilling.
Yes. Yes, that's true, because this morning I was writing poetry to the beloved Arunachala, and it made me feel really, it brought light. So that's it. It's not to turn it into a, how can I get there?
You know, in the beginning when I came to Amma, I was mad. I was mad with that idea. I want enlightenment. And it was it was a total brain thing. And I, Werner, want something. It's not that I wanted to get rid of that identification with this Werner guy, but I, Werner, want something.
Yes.
And of course, that yearning was always very painful. I want something, getting nothing, and being miserable about it. And Amma tried sometimes to give hints. Once she said, but when I used to yearn for God, there was so much bliss in it. And I thought, oh, bliss, my God, I yearn and I feel miserable. But eventually, I became aware what she really started to point out, because it was not the yearning that was making me miserable, but that on top of the yearning, I put all my self-importance. Me, I want.
Yes.
But if we learn to let go of that, then the yearning in itself is totally fulfilling. Because with the yearning, you're connecting with the essence, and the more you connect, the more that joyousness of existence comes to the present, to your experience. The yearning itself is the path and the goal and the connection, the experience.
Yes.
So the trick is simply to yearn not with ego, not with self-importance. Me, I as a person want something. But open the heart and let that yearning flow, and the very yearning will carry you wherever you have to go.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Because this morning, that's how it was. And I like to read Rumi poetry of yearning for the beloved. It really, I can really connect with it. And this morning I was writing poetry myself.
Yeah.
It's just, I saw Arunachala, that suddenly mind kicked in, like, oh, I need to get there, I need to go there. And it's that was painful. I realized that the mind was kicking in with a force, you know, and that was changing this yearning, this beautiful yearning, into greed and grabbing. Yeah.
Right. And then we can, of course, make all big bad dropping story on it. Oh, it's so terrible. I would like to be there. I cannot be there, and
Yes.
and all that. And then out of something beautiful can be come something very, very painful.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But if we let that aspect go, the yearning starts to become more and more blissful in itself.
Yes. Yes, I feel it.
Right. It's natural, that yearning. Everybody knows that as long as we feel that sense of separation, something is not quite right. It's not.
Yes.
It's not our natural way of existing.
Yes.
And so naturally that yearning is there, whether we are conscious of it or not, or whether we are becoming aware of it in its purity, or we are putting all kinds of stories on top of it. But that yearning is not wrong. That yearning is the call for the mind, for the attention to come home.
Yes.
It's just we have to learn to yearn wisely.
Yes.
Not greedily.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. That's been really helpful. That's cleared something. Yes.
Nice. Good. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Werner.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else who would like to come? Anybody is welcome. Okay, let's stay with that yearning for a little moment more, because sometimes Advaita people say, but if you yearn, then you create a separation by your yearning. Then it's you and your goal, you and your beloved, you and something that you are yearning for, and you artificially create a separation. We are only doing that when we yearn with self-importance. Me, I, the person, want this, want that. Of course, there is never a separation. Of course, we cannot be apart from that essence, from that reality. It's here, it's now. It's that which makes every experience possible. Without that, you can't wriggle a finger. It's that which is the truth, is the life, is the consciousness, is that sense of life that we are touching when we are bringing the attention to the present. The yearning simply comes out of the habitual experience of feeling separate, of feeling limited, of being a person that is me, and out there are all the others. And as long as the experience is that, then the yearning is really the pathway that is opening the attention to come back home and be aware you have never been apart. You reconnect consciously. There's nothing wrong with yearning. There's nothing wrong with yearning for truth, for infinity. We are not creating a separation. The separation we are creating because we are identifying with that role, with that name, with what we are doing, with what with our story, our memories, our expectations for the future. And the more we mixing that into the yearning, the more the yearning becomes painful. But if yearning becomes pure, then the joyousness of existence is flowing through that yearning already. And if you are really getting to the heart of it, to the source of it, yearning in its pure essence, then you are totally connected. And the yearning is not more for something that is not there, but a natural yearning of existence, of wanting to expand the experience of it. Essentially, never changing, immovable, untouched, and yet longing to experience that oneness, that essence, ever more expansive. But why do people sometimes smile about devotees who yearn for God and yearn for this and yearn for that? But that's just another mental trip. That is just another intellectual arrogance, and in itself, it's an identification with the me personality. I know what is true. Every philosophy can be turned around to justify me as a person, as being somebody who knows what is true, what is the right way. Or the philosophy can be an inspiration to let go of all that and really bring the attention back to the source, to the purity, to the joyousness of existence. It can be done in different way, but pure yearning is a wonderful way. It just opens up all the doors. Helen mentioned the pain of yearning. Right. I know very much about that pain because I produced it a lot. Wanting something, not getting something, being very pissed off about it and being in pain. But it's just that identification with that me. I yearned for truth, and there was a sincerity about it, but at the same time, I didn't want to let go of that identification. Instead of really, purely yearning for truth, I yearned for something, but me, I, Werner, should get that. Me, I, Werner, should experience that. And as long as we are doing that, then we are asking for trouble. Then the yearning can be very painful. But if you learn to just open up the heart, whether it's totally abstract, whether it's with the form of God, any form of God, it's the same divinity that is manifesting, that is expressing itself in all these divine forms, or whether it's with the form of Arunachala. If you open the heart and that yearning to connect with that is pure, then automatically we connecting with the self, with the here, with the now, and the yearning becomes joyous, becomes blissful, becomes totally fulfilling in itself. Hey, my friends, say something. Anybody?
Well,
Hello, Moksha again.
if nobody says, then I want to say something. With you know my cold water stuff, huh?
Yes,
What I'm doing.
we
And
all
it
have heard about it.
yes, yes. And it is for me so great because it brings, it stops the mind, you know. You cannot think on anything.
Yeah.
And it makes quiet. And also, I feel like many ideas of I need this, I need that, fall apart.
Yeah.
Because also I need warm. I cold is not good.
Yeah.
And I experience, I really don't want in the cold. The mind says, no, 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 this is not nice.
Yeah.
But if I'm in it, it brings, how to say, yeah, it stops all these ideas of this is good for me, this is not good for me, I want this, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just right now, it is like, my God, what is make me suffer is if I think I need this or that.
Yes.
We don't need anything. It's amazing, right?
Yes.
That feels so beautiful to feel I don't need a car, or I can be in little things. Oh, no, no, this is very important. I need this, I need that. And now I come to the point, it's nice and it makes it comfortable, a car, blah, blah, blah. But I don't need it. It is not for my happiness. I don't need it.
Right.
Oh, that makes a great opening up.
Right.
Amazing, huh?
The suffering is not because of the circumstances, but because we resist to the fact of how they are. Then we have our whole list of how things should be different. This should be different, and that should be different, and I should have this, I should have that, and this should not happen, and that fellow should not talk like this to me, and all this resistance creates that mental anguish that we call suffering. It's not because of the circumstances, but how we are reacting to it.
Yeah, in the idea, we are not aware of that the idea is I need this because otherwise I cannot be happy.
Yes.
And it's just simply not true. But we are so strongly believing it.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, you really think, no, I need this car, otherwise my life is terrible.
Yes.
And we really believe it. And as long as you don't see it, you believe it, and then it is like this.
Yeah.
It feels like somehow tension.
Yeah.
And if you suddenly see, oh, yeah, it is nice, but I don't need it. Oh, this is, yeah, and there is the resistance coming from, of course. If you think you need something, of course you have a resistance that you don't need, that you don't have it.
Yes.
Simple, huh?
Right. Simple.
Life is so simple, and to be happy is so simple.
It's very simple. We don't just have to learn not to all the time disturb it unnecessarily.
Yes, but we don't see it that we're disturbing it, right?
Right.
This is the trick, huh?
That the trick is that the belief is there. I need this and this and this and this and this to be happy. But
yes,
even if for a moment we are capable of bending the circumstances to our ideas, it's never staying. It's always changing. Then we try to hold on to, and it's again changing. And there we are miserable again. And when somebody feels happy because of fulfilling a desire, the desire for anything, for a new car, maybe there, pestering for some time, and then get the new car, and the person feels so happy. But what they are not aware of, they feel not happy because the car is in their life, but because the car came, that idea that was in their head and creating tension, for a moment they relax. The car is there. And in that relaxation, that natural joyousness of existence has a chance to come to the surface. It doesn't last very long because other ideas come, what we need, and then we overshadow it. But the joyousness, the happiness is not coming out of the situation. The situation simply was nice enough for our expectations, for our mind, that for a moment we were not torturing ourselves and thinking it should be different. But how wonderful. And in that sense, in that feeling, in that thought, in that feeling, we just let go, at least to some extent, relax. And in that relaxation, that natural happiness can just be experienced. All we have to do is that letting go. Learn to let go without attaching it to some particular thing or other, some need fulfilled or other. It's the letting go that makes us happy, because the happiness is there waiting to express itself, to be experienced.
Yeah, beautiful that it is so simple and there. That is there. It is amazing. Huh?
Your natural state is full of joy. Everybody's natural state is full of joy. It's not something that has been absent. It's not something that has to be produced or constructed by anything. It's there. All we have to do is to see how much we are preventing it, and then learn not to do that anymore.
We are so used, and the whole collectivity is showing, no, you need something, otherwise you cannot be happy. So I was not aware of that I'm doing that, you know.
Yes, yes.
Only if you stop, you say, oh, it's not true.
Yes.
But it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, beautiful, Werner. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your contribution. Hari Om.
Mario.
Hari Om, Werner.
Hello, I hear a voice.
Hello, this is Ben.
Hello, Ben. It always takes a moment with you. There you are. I see your picture.
Yes, hello. I'm in the bus. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I hope you can hear me okay.
I can hear you. The picture is jumping from one frame to another, but never mind.
Okay. Today I wanted to talk about physical pain.
Yeah.
Because this has been a part of my story in this life, is to experience back pain.
Yeah.
And I used to be to play as a professional soccer player, and my career ended due to a back surgery. And it comes and goes. But a week ago, I had another episode of really, really strong back pain, and for a few days, it's like I take 50 years older, and I'm stuck kind of, and I have to move very slowly, and my whole energy really drops, and my contribution to the
you're breaking up, Ben. I cannot follow anymore.
Sorry. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I heard that you feel much older and your energy, and then somehow it left.
Yeah. Well, essentially that's that's it. And it's just a different state of experience, which I would describe as less pleasant and less energetic. I think my practice is helping me to see it as another way to connect. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about physical pain and how to best manage it.
Right. Of course, there may be a threshold. Up to that we can bear, and then after that it's just beyond our capacity. And everybody has that point in their own place, how much we are capable of bearing. But usually the tendency is that when there is physical pain, there is that total resistance that it should not be there. And with that becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and there comes the suffering because of the pain. If we can somehow accept the pain when it's there, and even learn to relax in it, then suddenly physical pain is not more such a terrible experience. It's a bit similar to what Moksha is talking about with his cold, that basically everything resists to go in the icy water, but then when there is no more resistance and one does it, then suddenly it can have the effect that it drives your attention deep into yourself, and you become aware of something in you that is not affected even by the physical pain. So the best advice I can give you, then when it's coming back, I mean, it's good that you take care and are a bit gentle to yourself in these periods, but at the same time try to accept as good as you can that it's there, that you don't think, oh my God, it's back again and it pisses me off and I don't want it again. But all right, because all the powers of the me personality will do that, will resist and say, no, not me, not now, not again. No, I don't want it. It's not pleasant. Yes, it's not pleasant to have pain. But if we can bypass those reactions of the me personality, then the very pain in itself can drive you very, very deep into your own resources.
Yeah,
yes.
The thing, it also comes and disrupts the plans I might have had of activity, things I was meant to do. Is just, which is another teacher then to let go and surrender to the not knowing what we are to do.
Right.
So it has been a great teacher of mine, because since early age, pain has always messed up with the plans of my ego, which was, wanting to be a professional soccer player and, these kind of things. But somehow has taken me in another beautiful path of exploration and understanding. So, and also I feel it's connecting me to my mother strongly, because she has a very similar back pain. And in a way, I feel that, I don't know, this pain is there as not just mine, but also of my mother, and maybe somewhere deeper. And it is there for me to connect to something like that.
You certainly develop empathy with people who has also pain, because those who never experience pain may have difficulties to understand what it means to have a lot of pain. Whereas if you have a lot of pain, then you can empathically much easier connect with somebody who goes through a lot of physical pain, because you know what it means to deal with it, what kind of a job it is to deal with it. You said also at the beginning, it makes you, the energy goes. Of course, I mean, a tremendous physical pain may be using up a lot of energy just to bear with it. But then again, we are throwing away even more energy than just to bear with the pain by resisting and thinking, oh God, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be. The more you can accept it, the less terrible it will be. But then also, yes, you may have plans, and then suddenly your plans cannot materialize because you are again going through a period of pain. And then that's also something one has to deal with it. That maybe I arranged with people something, and then I have to tell them, oh, I can't. I'm too much in pain. It's not an easy thing to do for the ego.
That's right.
It's not an easy thing to do for the me personality to accept, to tell people, okay, somehow I'm not capable right now. Now, just in your case, imagine you had your soccer career. You would have been a world famous soccer player. But it would already be over. They are very young, and it's soon over. and then you had your 10 famous minutes, and so what? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
When it's gone, it's gone. You can leave off the memory and show your trophies to all your friends. But it's all living in the past. It's not more living in the now. So obviously that your dreams have been disrupted has pushed you to go on a path of going deeper, of looking more for truth, for looking for yourself instead of for the decoration of it.
Yeah, totally.
And once you go out of your life that you have been searching now, and that you have been practicing, and that you go deeper and deeper, then you bring a wealth with you that you would not have had even if you had had a very famous career, but mentally remained very superficial. I mean, there are people who have careers and they are very deep and they go deeper and deeper, but the temptation to be attached and identified on that level is very strong.
Yeah, I have come to consider my injuries and my physical pain as blessings. With the time to reflect, I have really seen that it's still, when it comes, that morning when you wake up and the pain is there, it still grabs you for some time, at some level. But yeah, like you said, this acceptance and is there, so it feels it's good. But it's also great to talk with you about it and be reminded.
When it's there, don't shy away from it. You sometimes go with your attention into the pain totally, but then you withdraw again and you relax as good as you can. And don't try to relax the pain, but relax all the other parts of your body that are not in pain. Start there. Relax as good as possible. And then gradually that relaxation is also coming to the place that is in pain, because when we are in pain, the tendency is to be all cramped up about it. And then that makes the pain stronger. And the more you are capable of relaxing the rest of your body, then gradually that pain also can be relaxed. And actually it is healing. You may also heal, and you may also come to a point where that pain won't come back anymore. It helps if you can accept, and it helps if basically you remind yourself to relax instead of being in tension about it. And then every time you do that, you also create a healing condition, and maybe gradually your pain may also go away, and then they are not more disturbing you. Could you follow? I'm not sure whether the connection was on all the time.
Yeah, I can follow. My headphones just died, but I still followed everything, and yeah, really heard that advice of not tensing and resisting that pain, but relaxing, particularly starting with the parts of the body that are easy to relax, and gradually allow that relaxation to go to the more painful area. And I have felt also that, you know, more recently, in the recent year or two, I've been able, by doing this kind of process, that the pain is lasting less long. It's instead of 10 days or a week, it's sometimes after 3-4 days it can go. So,
and there is a good chance that it's getting shorter and shorter. In the beginning, when I was with Amma and started to really sit all the time, then it sometimes happened that it just suddenly made in the lower part of my back, yuck, and there was excruciating pain. And instead of relaxing, everything cramped around it, and then it might take a week until it was gone again. And as the time passed, and as I learned to less resist, whenever it happened, it passed faster. And eventually it simply disappeared. So it can also develop like this for you, that as it is already passing faster, that it's passing faster and faster, and eventually it may also not come back anymore. Right.
Let's put it in the hands of Arunachala.
Let's put it in the hands of Arunachala, of course. But it's good. The good help, the good way of dealing with it is, when it comes, accept it. Not inviting it, not think, oh, I need pain, I do have to have the pain, and create it. But when it comes, accept it and relax as good as you can, instead of resisting the experience. That's the best way, that it can pass quickly, and that you get out of it what you need to get out of it, and to heal it, that eventually you may not more need that pain.
Do you feel there is a it is there because there's a need? Like, does it have a meaning? Is it there to make you become aware of something?
It's not that I'm thinking you should dig now in your subconscious and think what exactly wants that pain to teach me. The very fact of learning to accept the pain and deal with it, that is the teaching, that is the lesson.
Right.
I'm not into that kind of thing that people say, oh, I'm having now something, and then they dig in their subconscious and then they give all kinds of explanation because this and that happened and I have to learn this particular lesson. Don't go that far. Just the lesson is to learn to deal with the pain without resistance, with as little resistance as possible, less and less, and learn to relax in it. That in itself is a great teaching and a great practice and a great achievement. Right.
Thank you, Werner. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else?
Hola. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Werner.
Hello.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Julian.
Cool. Yes,
is that
I'm
your
Julian.
name? Julian. Hello, Julian.
This is my name. Hi, Werner. This is my first time I connect to you and to the group. Hi to the group, and thanks to Ben, my great friend who was just talking before.
Oh, you're in the same bus as Ben?
He's in the bus back to Barcelona, but we were spending time together.
Yeah.
And thanks, Ben, to introduce me to you, Werner. And so I'm discovering this opportunity to ask. And for example, we were with my friend talking about a topic. More I go in my practice, less I need. I mean, less I need material, less I need things, and I love this feeling. And at the same time, friends around me are getting a house, are getting a roof, and I have no roof. And this is strange because I have my own activity, my own work that I love regarding beautiful things and seminars with beautiful people. I love it. So I could maybe step by step buy a roof, and I will need a roof. But more are practicing my own practice and practicing with people, less I need a roof. And there is a bit something about maybe future kind of minimum security to have a roof or maybe a family one day. So I'm a bit lost in that, because I think I feel a bit guilty somehow to want a roof or to want maybe some secure a little house somewhere, and I don't need it, but well, I stopped saying the same thing. This is the thing turning around in my head a bit.
Right.
And thank you for receiving this question.
You're welcome. Right. It's not that you have now to somehow try to squash every desire that you have in your head and think you have to get rid of that. There's nothing wrong having the idea that maybe one day you have your own house, you have your own nice place, as long as it doesn't become an obsession, as long as you don't make that into the cause of your happiness, but do that which makes you happy now. What you're doing your seminars, you're working with people, and it makes you happy, and that happiness comes out of yourself. And it's not that more material and more established things would increase that happiness. Stay with that which makes you happy now. And then you can still put like an intent in the current job, but there's nothing wrong if one day maybe this and that can happen, and then let it flow and be here now. And then when that openness is there, then maybe one day it materializes, but maybe also not, and maybe less and less you think it's necessary. But it's nothing wrong that this kind of ideas comes. It's simply wrong that when you see your friends, oh, they are already settled so nicely and I'm still not having anything, and then getting jealous of what they have achieved and me, I'm not having any of that. This is, of course, then it's simply strengthening that me. I consciousness. And the more we are identifying with that, the less happy we get, no matter what we are accumulating outside, how well we are establishing our external situation. Look, people, they have so many things and they accumulate more wealth, and look how unhappy they are. Then it doesn't bring them happiness. The happiness comes out of yourself. Just be aware of that. You are the source of your happiness. And then when you are aware of that, you still can have your ideas somehow or other you have to spend your time, somehow or other you have to spend your life. So you can as well have your ideas and establish your external situation according to your liking, if it's possible, as long it's not being made in the source of happiness. As long you don't think, I need this in order to be fulfilled. Your fulfillment comes out of the now, here, now. The more you are here now, the more you can relax in the timelessness of the present, the more that sense of fulfillment is there. That sense of bubbling beauty and happiness is there, no matter the circumstances. So remind yourself again and again, I am the source of my happiness. And then you can playfully go about it and buy a house or build a house or do whatever comes along, if it's possible. And if it's not possible, it will not make you unhappy.
Thank you. I am my own roof.
Yes, you are your foundation, you are your roof, and you are the deity in the sanctum sanctorum of the temple.
I'm feel really grateful to get to know you, and thank you, Ben, again for introducing me in this group and this talk. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Nice that you came and joined.
Yeah. See you again.
We hope so. Hari Om.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
That is the thing what Julian was just talking about. Should we have any desire? Should we have no desire? Some spiritual traditions say you should wipe out all your desires if ever you want to have a chance. But it's not really the desires themselves that are the trouble. It's that we give them a place where they do not belong, that they become all-powerful and make us dependent, make us feeling that we need this and that in order to be happy. We need this or that in order to feel complete, to get that sense of fulfillment. And that has to be cleared out. If our mind is full and full and full, loaded with desires, and we're just being helplessly pushed along by those desires, we are very well instructed to learn to reduce them. But that doesn't mean we have to just wipe out every damn little desire that is there. Just become aware. It's not that which will bring the fulfillment. I am the source of my happiness. You are the source of your happiness. And as he jokingly said, you are the roof. Your psychophysical manifestation is a temple. For some time on my path, I wanted to reject it and thought, this body, it's all that is holding me back, and oh, I want to get rid of this body. No, this body, we should not be obsessed with the body and identify with the body to the extent that we think we are only this body. But this manifestation, this psychophysical manifestation, is a total opportunity that consciousness can unfold, can grow. This body is a temple, but it's the base of the temple. It's the walls of the temple. We should not put the body in the sanctum sanctorum. You are the divinity that makes the whole experience possible. And if we are aware of that, if we are getting more and more rooted in that certainty, that happiness really comes out of myself, It's there already. If I don't prevent it, it's simply there as an experience. That sense of fulfillment is there if I don't disturb that awareness of that aspect in me that is not affected by anything. If I'm rooted in that, then that sense of fulfillment is there. It's not that it stops there, but the suffering stops, the pain stops. And then still the experience keeps on unfolding, unfolding. Essentially immovable and at the same time experiencing ever more vast, ever more expansive, ever more profound. And still the sense of fulfillment is there, not the feeling, oh, I should experience more in order to be fulfilled. And then if that conviction and that experience is there, if that certainty is there, then, I mean, somehow or other, we have to play our role in this human world, in a human form, and we can arrange our circumstances according to our liking. There's nothing wrong with having preferences. There's nothing wrong liking certain circumstances more than others. There's nothing wrong with liking certain music more than other music. There's nothing wrong with having our preferences. And if we can, we arrange our life according to our preferences. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. If we have that broad-heartedness to accept both of it, then there is no problem in it at all. It's simply when we become dependent, when it becomes a need, when we think our fulfillment is not possible without this or without that, then it becomes pain, and then we are asking for suffering. Playfully go about your life. Sometimes desires spring up, sometimes you fulfill them, sometimes you don't fulfill them. But you are the source of your happiness. The fulfillment comes out of yourself. You are complete in yourself. And then playfully can go about playing human for some time, in a human world, in a human form. Hari Om, my friends. Hari Om. Hari Om.